Well, Kim, it is Good Friday. So, I'm
Right?
just saying, this is that day. But let me ask you guys this question, because if my spidey senses are right, there's a story here. Tell me about a time when you guys have had a defining moment, a moment that after this everything was different. And I see from your body language that you've had a hell of a defining moment.
Well, the first major defining moment was a week after Kim and I gave our lives to the Lord. My son, who was 3 years old, fell out of our second story window on the concrete on his head, Chip Jr. And the doctor said that he would either be in the hospital for at least a month or he would pass away. There was no hope. And this is a week after we gave our lives to the Lord. And the youth pastor at that time, who led us to the Lord, said, after we went to church that Sunday and we were crying, he said, "What's wrong with you?" He went to the hospital, and long story short, he just laid his hands on CJ and prayed James 5:14. Very humbly, he said, "I'm just going to do what the Lord asked me to do." Prayed James 5:14, and that says, "Where elders lay hands on the sick and they will be healed." A week after I was saved, and my son, the next morning, got up pulling the intravenous things out. "Mom, Dad, out of the coma, out of everything, the hairline fracture under his eye, after they took 2 CAT scans that day to see what mistake they made, the broken arm completely healed. He was out of the hospital in 2 days, my son."
How did that change the two of you? I get the power of the story, obviously, right? That's a powerful story. But going through that, how did that change the two of you?
By knowing that with Jesus, anything, if he could do that, there's nothing else. There's nothing else. We've been fraught with financial downtroddenness in our lives. That's been, it's happened. But if he can do that with CJ, I put it like this: Lord, I mean this, but we tight. But he don't have to do nothing else for me. So.
Yeah. So what's interesting. Often when I ask, and this is why I pressed you a little bit to find out what was the change, because when I ask people open-ended questions for a reason, because I let what's ever in them catch the question, and I let that speak. And when I ask people often for a defining moment, they usually take me into tragedy. They take me into heartbreak and suffering. And that will define you. What you did was interesting. I've not had many couples do this. You took me into a moment that produced radical hope and joy for you. And that became the thing you chose tonight to tell the world was your defining moment. The moment your son got healed, the moment things got better. And to me, it's just, and just respond to this after I say it, Kim. It's just instructive that we all, in the same way you were very careful and choosy about who you loved, that we're all careful and choosy about how we allow moments to define us. Let the joy define you as much as you let the heartbreak. What do you think about that, Kim?
Oh, absolutely. Because when you spend so much time, and I think everybody could look back on their life and then they could think about when they were weeping, when they were in those times of sorrow. And then you think back on it, and then you think about it and you say, wait a second, what was I saying about then? Why was I crying? Why was I weeping and taking so long to go through that pity when, like for us, the next day we forget about a lot of the things that have made us upset or angry before. I mean, because when you think about it, you can get through anything when you put God first. That's why I keep saying that. I mean, he will see it through for us.